Myself Dr. Saiji and welcome to Dr. Saiji Talks. So this video is exclusively for the homeopathy community. Today I just want to discuss about my favorite remedy, that is silicia. I have made another video with regard to arnica, which I consider that arnica is my most favorite remedy, but silicia is a remedy of principles. So let us talk about silicia. So silicia, that is a remedy which is being prepared from silicon dioxide, that is from sand. And the core point or the most important characteristic feature which runs through the silicia is mainly can be said as lack of stamina. So this lack of stamina can be either physically or mentally. So in the physical sense, silicia are those people in which there will be a problem with their absorption and assimilation. So there is a trouble with regard to the absorption and assimilation. So that makes them weak physically. But in the inner sense, what happens is silicia is fragile. Silicia is weak. In the mental level, what I can say is the weakness is mainly can be due to the yieldingness of silicia. As you might be knowing, that pulsatile is the most important remedy in which yielding becomes a main characteristic symptom. But here, silicia is also said to be yielding. So we should understand one who yields to almost all the external circumstances or external pressures, that will make them delicate or fragile. That is the thing which I want to mention. So the difference between the yielding of silicia and pulsatile is that we have to understand. That the main thing is pulsatile, the yielding is it is due to the indecisiveness. But of silicia, it is not that due to indecisiveness, but it is due to the incapacity to resist. That is the reason, incapacity to resist, because they always want to avoid confrontation. And as you might be knowing, that sand, this is somebody which is prepared from sand. Sand can be drifted away from one place to another area by external force such as wind and water. The same way the case with silicia. So silicia most often accustomed to the external pressure. So that makes them very what you can call very fragile or weak person. That makes him a weak person, at least to that particular circumstances only. So even though they are yielding, the main thing that which we have to keep it in mind is they are the persons with principles. So if a lady with principles or a man with principles, that means every man would like to get a lady just like that of silicia, because there is yieldingness that shows the willingness. At the same time, they are the persons who have self-respect. They will never tolerate disrespect. So even though there is a lack of stamina, they behave according to principles. So these are the persons which can do multitasking. And silicia most of the time do certain type of business or whatever it may be. They will do everything according to their moral conscientiousness. So that is the thing. So they cannot do anything harmful that creates harm to the nature or to the society. So they will keep aloof from such circumstances. So that is the main quality of silicia, a man with principles. And after all, silicia is a remedy which is said to be very cautious, and that same because they have a constant fear of failure. Even others think that they might be competent to do such and such things, but they have a constant fear of failure. And what happens is, even though they have a capability of multitasking means, in the sense, what I mean is, these are the people, realistic people who are artistic in nature. So multitasking, and if at all they do any type of business also, that the main motto behind them to do that business is not just merely by making money or something like that, but at the same way they have they have to be a moral. They have to keep the morality to the with regard to business, or they have to keep that moral high with regard to the society. That is the thing with the Silesia. So highly, and but most often Silesia child is often said to be shy and timid. Shyness is there, of course, but that the fear of their failure or that weakness, that has always been covered by their performances. That's the thing. So Silesia, that is not with regard to fear of failure, not with regard to the loss of confidence, as you could see in the case of lycopodium. That much of loss of confidence is not there in the case of Silesia, because of the delicateness or the weakness or the fragility of Silesia, that it means that he or she is weak. So as I said, and then they are the persons who have high qualities. They are being constantly thinking of the conscientiousness, and they want to do the right thing. They are moral people. They are duty oriented personalities. At the same time, they are the persons who shows integrity and also they will never tolerate any type of disrespect. So these things that you can see in the case of Silesia. Then the another thing that the which I want to focus with regard to Silesia is Silesia is a person in which all the complaints gets aggravated according to the moon phase. So so the mental change, the ability to think and perform all those things can be it is very much influenced by the change in nature. That is what the main thing I want to mention about Silesia. And when regarding to the physical complaints, the most important thing is this is the remedy in which is having a very unhealthy skin. As I said, that a very little injury separates the skin, almost all those injuries separates, and this tendency makes the Silesia to get its name as homeopathic surgeon's knife. If at all anything gets stuck into our human body, what can the Silesia will help to eliminate almost all those things from your body. So that is why it got that name, that homeopathic surgeon's name. So in certain cases where surgery is said to be inevitable, at that time if you try Silesia, that can it will promote separation, and it can create a tendency to expulsion. The other thing which I want to say is about the pin mania. It is said that Silesia has a constant fear of pointed objects and sharp needles, etc. And certain others says that these are the person they constantly searches for pins, as if they get being stuck. So Silesia is considered to be a remedy which has a fear of injection. So anybody, you might have seen certain grown-up personalities which have a great fear of injection. The remedy that should come to your mind is Silesia. And Silesia is a remedy which can be given for the after effect or ailments or the ill effects of vaccination. Even after every vaccination, if you get fever or whatever it may be, to remove that bad effects, you can think of Silesia. And with regard to respiratory, Silesia is a remedy for common man's respiratory complaints, especially of stone cutters. That means that, as you know, that this remedy is prepared from sand. This remedy for stone cutters, there is a chance of getting a lung infection, that is silicosis. So whenever you get an infection, the chest infection, silicosis, there also Silesia comes into rescue. So what happens with regard to the female complaints, a peculiar rare symptom which is commonly seen in females is every time when the child is nursed, there can be bleeding from the vagina. That is the peculiar symptom It can be due to some alterations in the hormonal system. Whenever the child sucks the breast, there is a tendency for bleeding through vagina in the case of mother. And also, as I said, that it is a remedy which is well suited for bad effects of vaccination, stone cutters remedy, and it is a remedy which is mainly used for the constipation. You might be knowing that and it is said that silicia, that is a remedy for shy stool. What happens is the stool comes out and then again it recedes back. So that is the nature. It represents the shyness. So silicious constipation is mainly said to be a shy is said to be having a shy stool constipation, and all sorts of fistulas open in silicia becomes a very good remedy for fistula acralis, even all type of fistulas and all type of injuries, especially which leads to separation or tendency to separation or unhealthy skin. Silicia has a very great role. The main thing which I want to emphasize today is with regard to the mind of the silicia. So when thinking or considering almost all these symptoms, I can very well say that silicia, if there is a woman silicia, and silicia, that is a very woman, the many men would like to get a girl like silicia. So it's a refined personality, a cautious personality, a yielding personality, a person who wants to be respected, a person who behaves to the moral consciousness. What else? So everything, but in the mental sense, you can see all these good things. And this makes silicia the most dear remedy for many of the men. So with this, let me stop this. Thank you.